Hey guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we will discuss more about virtualization and I will show you how to create a simple lab environment on your own laptop. So if you still have not checked our cloud and Navi SDN video, I suggest you first go through that and it will be easier for you guys to understand what we are trying to do in this. So, what exactly is virtualization? It is a technique of pooling and abstracting the physical resources. So, what we actually want to achieve from virtualization, we used to have physical server, and on top of physical server, we used to run one application. It's like traditional modeling of putting anything, but now using virtualization, my same physical server can support multiple OS. So this is what we have studied till now. We know clearly what exactly virtualization software is doing. It is creating a pool of resources which can be used by multiple operating system, multiple applications on same server. So we don't have to run for every application a different hardware. We can run same application on same server along with other application as well. We are creating a pool of resources. So if my server have say 256 gig RAM, 64 CPU, 2 TB hard disk, all this complete set of resources can be assigned can be distributed and assigned to different applications. So out of 64 CPU, I can assign 12 CPU to each operating system, each application, and for them it will be they are still running on say one physical server because software is completely transparent for operating system or application running on top of them. So for them, they won't know that they are sharing resource. For them, they are still running on one physical server. Software A won't be knowing that software B is also sharing resources from same server. So this is very important when we move forward towards how we can deploy application, how can these application cannot like disturb each other. This is very important concept, and we will study more about this when we move into container based applications. But how it work exactly? If I want to install virtualization, I want to run virtualization, how it work? If I Google say virtualization software which I want to install in my laptop, obviously in Google you can find answer to this. But virtualization is not exactly the term which we are trying to install on our laptop or on our physical server. What we need is hypervisor. So hypervisor is actually the software which is installed and which actually enables virtualization. It is responsible for all this pooling and abstracting resources. So this is actually actual term which we use when we say virtualization software. It is actually hypervisor. So this is one simple diagram, traditional modeling. We have seen it multiple times. I am reusing it again. And in place of operating system, I am now installing hypervisor. Now this step is optional actually. We don't have to replace my operating system completely, and in place of that I have to install hypervisor. This is not mandatory. Even my existing OS can run hypervisor on top of it, so we don't have to scrap everything if we are moving from traditional to virtualized system. Now my same OS or my same physical server can have multiple OS and multiple application using this hypervisor. So we have multiple types of hypervisor actually. Segregating in two broad terms, we have type 1 and type 2. So type 1 are actually bare metal or which can be installed directly on hardware, so we don't have to install a separate software or separate OS for this hypervisor. They directly come as a as a software which can be directly put on on physical server without another layer of operating system. So companies like VMware and Oracle, they use this kind of hypervisor, type 1, which can be directly installed on bare metal. Type 2, we actually need another operating system to run these hypervisor. We cannot install them directly on our physical server. So now we have seen this theory part. Let's move on and create our own lab environment. I am using CentOS for this particular example. You can use any other operating system, be it Ubuntu or Red Hat OS or Fedora, anything you can use. So this is my CentOS GUI. I just now installed it from scratch. It's having nothing. If I say what wash is actually the command which is used to display if any VM is running on top of this CentOS. No, because it doesn't support virtualization as of now. It's my basic traditional desktop which only have one operating system, CentOS. They send any application if I want to install on top of that, it should support CentOS. We cannot install Windows on top of it until and unless we have virtualization. So how to enable this my CentOS so that it can support Windows or any other application, any other operating system on top of it. Let's move on and install this all these tools. So we actually need various tools which enables my system. Okay, while installing. So this is actually libvirt, which is a daemon which runs in backend and enables this virtualization. So it is actually libvirt is used by my QEMU. QEMU is like KVM. It's a, it's slightly different than KVM, but it is used by CentOS or Linux virtualization. Backend, it used libvirt as daemon, which runs in backend and enable help in running this hypervisor running in this KVM. So libvirt is actually the thing which is pooling resources, which is enabling my system. And let's start this daemon. All right, verify whether KVM is installed. Oh, okay. So now if we do wash, see, now we have wash command. Now it's running. Earlier it was throwing error that you don't have wash actually installed in the system. So now we can see even this list command is working. So as of now, I'm not running any VM on top of it. So that's why it's showing empty. So let's move on and create another VM. So now my CentOS system can support multiple virtual machine on top of it. Now we have this virtualization layer installed. My hypervisor KVM is running. Where we can see we have a very good GUI which comes as part of virtualization. When we install KVM, it comes with the complementary GUI. So here we can see QEMU KVM mentioned in this VMM virtual machine manager. So let's move and create a VM on top of it. So we just have to create a new virtual machine. Next, as an ISO image, maybe I give another mini.iso, which is actually Ubuntu. So remember, we are running CentOS, and on top of that CentOS, I am now deploying Ubuntu. Okay, so all right, let's give it 1 gig RAM and 1 CPU, and I create a 20 gig disk for it. Let's give it a name, Ubu, and finish. So my system is now creating a virtual machine for Ubuntu on top of CentOS. And here it is. Install. Okay. And now parallelly we can confirm this whether we have another VM now mentioned here as well. See, Ubu, the name which we have given to this VM. It's reflected here in verse list. Come on now. Okay, maybe we have to wait for this installation. So let this Ubuntu run, because anyhow this is a minimal image. It will take some time, but idea is clear now. We had earlier, we didn't had this wash option. We didn't had any hypervisor running on CentOS. Any more questions about virtualization? Visit our YouTube channel, drop a comment, or visit our website techbeast.org. Have a good day. Bye.